Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, was in India last week as part of his six-nation tour. While replying to a question from Peak XV Partners Managing Director Rajan Anandan at an event, he had said it was totally hopeless to compete with us, as in OpenAI, on training foundation models, citing a hypothetical scenario in which three engineers with $10 million try to emulate the achievement. To this, Tech Mahindra MD and CEO CP Gurnani replied with a tweet. He accepted Altman's challenge. However, replying to Gurnani's tweet, Altman said his response was taken out of context. He said competing with OpenAI on a budget of a mere $10 million will be quite difficult. It was the wrong question, Altman said, and added that the right question is what a startup can do that's never been done before that will contribute a new thing to the world. I have no doubt Indian startups can and will do that. Altman's comments and Gurnani's tweets, meanwhile, have brought the spotlight on a larger question regarding India's place in the rapidly developing global generative AI sector. Can India catch up in the AI tech development race? Altman, in the same media gathering, had mentioned that he was surprised and delighted to see how quickly and how many Indian users had adopted ChatGPT. India has been at the forefront of embracing the technology, with startups rapidly embracing both generative AI and traditional AI across sectors such as health, education, legal services, and more. India is among the largest markets by the number of users for many companies behind AI products. It is also likely to generate one of the largest pools of data, both in terms of volume as well as diversity of the variables within each data set. A recent report by Deloitte also pointed out that 88% of the nearly 200 Indian companies surveyed for the report have increased their investment in both procuring and developing AI services in the last fiscal year.
India, I strongly believe, is poised to leapfrog into the AI race that exists. Obvious strengths that we do have are our demographics, our depth of engineering and science talent. The level of digitization has become a major add-on. Also, traditionally, a lot of our data collection at a national level on various topics has been not very structured as much as potentially in the more advanced markets. And therefore, it gives us that opportunity to actually leapfrog into the AI era. What we have done very successfully is solve problems for India in India, right? So there's a VC ecosystem, there's a ecosystem of companies which are willing to try out new products, etc., etc. So there's an ecosystem of product engineers and product mindset. So they have a lead that is quite significant, and I think we are bridging that gap.
However, the same report pointed out that organizations find it more difficult to sustain AI projects after the launch. Organizations experienced challenges in the scaling phase rather than in the starting phase. This indicates that most businesses continue to consider AI initiatives as limited time projects rather than a cornerstone of overall business strategy, the report said. Compare this to what OpenAI needed to get its AI services operational. The supercomputer developed by Microsoft for OpenAI is a single system with more than 285,000 CPU cores. It has 10,000 GPs and 400 gigabytes per second of network connectivity for each GPU server. Hosted in Azure, the supercomputer also benefits from all the capabilities of a robust modern cloud infrastructure, including rapid deployment, sustainable data centers, and access to the cloud computing services of Microsoft Azure. So what then are the major challenges that Indian companies, especially startups, are likely to face towards scaling up to the level of OpenAI and their American competitors?
Traditionally there have been two challenges, right? The ecosystem in Silicon Valley is definitely superior to most of the ecosystems around the world, because you have a lot of backing of capital right? Which is available for a long period of time. So the second part is some of the national support that's coming from some countries, right, into funding some of these AI companies. And you would have heard of the recent news about the UK. The backing of the Chinese government is well known, right? And the challenges for the industry are the huge compute that's often needed to develop some of these systems. But the good news really is that the Indian government is doing some fantastic things that you will, I'm sure, hear about to solve some of the issues around funding, around compute.
Industry insiders believe India's AI startup ecosystem is well poised to make its global presence felt and should not be taken lightly. They point out that while challenges persist, the government's support for developing the ecosystem and the tech industry's enthusiastic response towards the technology can deliver definite solutions to these challenges.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.
He's making plans for an early retirement. Business Standard.